So you're procrastinating, and you're aware that you're procrastinating, and yet you can't stop procrastinating. What I want to explain is the very significant difference between trying to stop and letting go that's going to make a massive difference to your relationship with procrastination. Right, so I want to take you through a series of steps that's going to really help you get your head around the very significant difference between trying to stop and trying to let go of something. So I'm going to go nice and slow so you've got really got the environment to absorb all of this information. So the first step is to start to think of a scaffolding, like a scaffolding around a building that's holding that building up. And so everything that you are associating with procrastination, everything that you're associating with trying to stop procrastination is part of that scaffolding that's holding up the building. So it might be that you've got a segment of that scaffolding which is about frustration. Oh, the frustration of not being able to get to something when you want to get to something. It might be that a section of that scaffolding is the little habit you have of going into the kitchen several times during the morning and having a biscuit, making another cup of tea, and that kind of feeling that's going on in the background, which is like, I know I'm just making another cup of tea and I know I'm just having another biscuit and I don't really want to be doing this. I want to be getting on with my work. So that's another section of the scaffolding. So all of your experiences of procrastination and trying to stop are actually holding that whole building, that whole structure in place. So the more we try to stop, the more we say, right, okay, this is it. From now on, I'm going to get to my work. Like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to get to my laptop. I'm going to get on with my writing, or I'm going to get on with my business concept. Even that, those resolutions that we make, it's another component in the scaffolding. You keep building up that scaffolding even when you're trying to stop. And let me explain why. When you are in that state of mind where you're trying to stop something and you're feeling really frustrated, for example, or maybe even a little bit stressed out about the thing that you're trying to stop, you're basically in a state of high arousal. I don't mean like sexual arousal, like you're really getting turned on because you're not able to stop procrastinating, but you're in this state of arousal because you're like really vigilant. You're like trying to do something, you're trying to figure it out. So it's almost akin to a stress state, or we might refer to it as a fight or flight state, where we're aroused, we're agitated, we're frustrated. And when we're in that state of mind, we're not in a creative state of mind. So we're building up that scaffolding that's really upholding this stress state, this vigilant state. And at the center of that is this procrastination. And so we keep building up the scaffolding and we keep building up the procrastination, which is often why it actually can get worse. The more you try to stop procrastinating, the more you procrastinate. So let me take you through the second step, which is really going to start to help you understand why we're getting a sense of this scaffolding around the building. So if you imagine you've got this building and you start to take away the scaffolding, but if you think, hang on a second, this scaffolding is really necessary because if I take it away, the building's going to fall down, you're going to start to resist that. You're going to be like, hey, stop taking that scaffolding away because the building is then going to be unsafe. So when you're trying to stop procrastinating, you're trying to pull away habits, you're trying to pull away patterns of behavior, which your mind feels is absolutely essential to uphold who you are. I've got to procrastinate because if I don't procrastinate, I'm not going to be the person that I think I am. And then who will I be? And so there's a part of your mind that's like, don't do this. Don't take me into that place of unknown. I can't imagine what my life would be like without that procrastination in it. And so as you're trying to stop, as you're trying to pull away those habits, the protective part of your brain is actually working harder to keep them more in place because within your mind, you have a perception of being under attack or being threatened. And again, when we're feeling threatened, when we're under attack, we're so not in that frame of mind where we're like, hey, let me just write a poem. I'm feeling like really creative and in a state of flow. Hence why we're going to be procrastinating even more, because we sense there's something required of us that we're even less in the place or frame of mind to be able to do. So that's why we get into this real struggle, and why trying to stop is actually going to make that procrastination worse. It really sets you in conflict with yourself. You don't have that trust for yourself, and you're not in that creative place where you're willing to take that step into the unknown and discover a side to you that you may not have never discovered before. You're too stressed out for that. So how do we start to break this down? So once we've begun to get an understanding of this idea that procrastination is a series of thoughts and habits that have created a scaffolding around us, and why we resist trying to take that scaffolding down, we then step into this place of letting go. So I want to walk you through this, because when we start to really get a sense of what it means to let go and why we are letting go, and once we're able to trust ourselves in this process, my friends, it gets really, really powerful. We can really make shifts in this place. So what we want to be doing is understanding that letting go is a very different state to stopping. So what happens when we let go? We're actually doing something in our mind and we're doing something in our body. When we're in this place of trying to stop, we're very much in this stress state. So the first thing that we want to do when we're letting go is we want to start signaling to ourselves that it's safe. Because if we don't feel safe, we're not going to want to let go. So in this context, we have to feel safe even though we're in this place of seeing that we're procrastinating and feeling really frustrated about that. So what it involves is taking any moment within your place of procrastination. So it might be that you take a moment where you're not yet procrastinating, but you take a moment now, for example, as you're watching this, to think about what happens when you are procrastinating. So you might start to think about some of those thoughts that come into your mind. You might think, oh, well, I have thoughts of like, come on, you got to get to it. You said you were going to do it. Why are you not doing it? Look at you, you're wasting time. So that's that first step of letting go, to understand the current thoughts. The second step of letting go is again to look at those habits, those very specific habits that when you're in that place of procrastination, you get involved in. So again, it might be habits of being in the kitchen, like I said, might be habits of grabbing a device, scrolling through social media channels, might be habits of doing extra research, like diving into books and spending time trying to learn more because you don't feel ready. So again, look at your habits of procrastination. So you've got what you're thinking, you've got what your habits of procrastination are, and also those feelings. Because usually if we're thinking to ourselves, oh God, I've really got to get around to it, and we're on social media and we're like, oh, I really shouldn't be doing this. What's that feeling, folks? We're generally feeling pretty crummy. Might even really feel that heavy feeling, like almost a sense of I've just got no energy. I'm just feeling so down on myself. So when we're letting go, we've got the thoughts, we've got the habits, we've got the feelings. When we find ourselves in a place where we're thinking those thoughts, we're embarking on those habits, or we're having a sensation of that, that heaviness, we want to be in that place and to just look at them. And as we're looking at them, like, okay, I'm hearing this thought, we start to say to ourselves, it's okay. It's okay to have this thought. Because usually what we're doing is we're trying to argue back against that thought or trying not to listen to it. And that's that place where we're stopping. So we want to hear that thought, oh, I really should be getting on with it. And it's like, okay, I'm hearing that thought. I hear that's what I'm telling myself. It's okay to have that thought. And then we can take a step back, and that's the letting go. So it's okay to have this thought, I see that I'm having it, and if I step back, I don't need to do what that thought is telling me to do. What a relief, right? You're in that moment of procrastination, you're telling yourself that you've really got to get on with this work, and then you're like, I don't have to listen to that voice. No, That's part of the letting go. And then the feeling, oh, I'm feeling really down on myself. I don't have to have this feeling. No. Okay. And then you're looking at all of these actions and behaviors. I don't need to be on my phone right now. No, you can let go of that too. So that's the part of the letting go. And there is going to be that resistance, because a part of you is going to be like, oh, really? Like, you sure it's safe? Sure it's safe to just put my phone down right now? You sure it's safe not to listen to me telling myself what to do? Sure it's safe not to feel really panicked? It's like, yeah, so that safety piece is really important. It's like you don't have to be thinking these things, don't have to be feeling it, and it's safe not to. Now, my friends, this takes practice, like more practice than the length of this video. And these are the components that you can start to practice. So I'm making it really, really simple for you. I've given this idea of how to understand the concept. So when you're in that place of procrastination, you're like, I'm trying to stop myself. Yeah, I see that. And you get a sense of all of that scaffolding and why you can't stop yourself, because you're stressing yourself out by trying to stop yourself. So then we understand it's about letting go. So you create that safety, lowers the stress. It's going to make you more likely to let go. Like, if we don't feel safe, we're not going to want to let go. So we start to feel safe by saying, I don't have to think this right now. Like, it's a thought in my head, but I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to do what it says. Even though I'm on my phone, I can now put my phone down. It is safe. Even though I'm feeling down, I can put that feeling down. Sometimes, especially if I'm working in a one-to-one with a client, we might even do something physical, like take hold of that feeling. Just pop it down. Like, it's okay, you can just pop it there. And then when you do that, you've got this space of like, oh, well, if I'm not feeling that, then I'm actually feeling a lot lighter. Interestingly, I'm not even telling myself that I need to work, but I'm feeling lighter and I'm kind of feeling that I want to just get on with my work now. So once we let that go, that's when that structure comes down, and that's when we get to be the building that we want to be. And that's when we start to connect with the work that we do want to do. And the feeling is so different there. And so once we've let go, we're then able to take the next steps to begin to work in the way that we want. So the final thing to mention is, like I said, this is a practice. This is something that you're going to want to bring into your life. You're going to want to bring into your daily life, because here's the thing, if you're practicing this, then you're going to get to a place where procrastination no longer has that hold on you. Every time you find yourself in a place of procrastination, you're going to be able to let it go, because you're going to get really good at it. If you like the idea of getting good at this, if you like the idea of really stepping free of all of these mental restrictions and really unleashing your creativity, then come join the community on Facebook. We'll hold you accountable, you'll learn loads of more powerful techniques, and you will be able to be the creative, the freelancer, the entrepreneur that you dream of. The community is called Right No Matter What, and you'll find a link to the community below. And actually, at the moment, for all new members, it's a free community, and for all new members, I'm offering a bonus video masterclass teaching you all you need to know to create, live and earn just the way that you want. So let's just wrap it up all together. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to know what you've learned from this video. I'd love to hear some of those commitments. Are you going to begin to start practicing this new way of being with procrastination, i.e., letting it go? And then the final thing, like, this is the final test, and this is a great one, because it helps you judge how well your practice is going. So if you find yourself still in the grip of procrastination, it doesn't mean that it's not working. It simply means that you're still trying to stop. And you haven't yet come into that place where you're like, oh, okay, I've got the idea of letting go. And this is often what gets people stuck. They think they're doing it and they don't realize that they're not doing it, and they're getting frustrated because they're like, it's not working. So if you keep finding yourself procrastinating and you keep feeling trapped in this habit, it simply means that you're still trying to stop. So you want to come back to, I don't have to do this right now. I can let this go. The less you find yourself in that place of procrastination, the more the evidence is showing you that you're getting that practice really nicely honed, and you're really getting into that place of strength with being able to let go. Ironically, it is a strength, like it's a mental strength, it's an emotion, physical strength that enables you to be able to let go. So I hope this one was useful to you folks. Really hope that you're feeling motivated to practice this one. Setting yourself free from procrastination is an absolute game changer if you've got big creative dreams that you want to impact the world with. Really looking forward to seeing you in the Write No Matter What community if you choose to come and join us. If not, see you in the next video. Make sure you're subscribed, yeah? Take care.